Good morning, everyone. It's been a bit since I have uh, put a video out. Um, in the time since I put my video out last, I have gone past my 6-year anniversary of bariatric surgery. Um, I've had my 44th birthday, and we have been just over a year at this point in our house. Actually, today is a year since we first uh, actually moved into our house, because this day last year is the first time after we closed that we came and brought our stuff, or some of our stuff, to our house. Uh, and then slept in it for the first time since we bought it. Uh, we closed on April 28th last year, and like I said, came May 6th for the very first time after we closed. Uh, and I had meant to put out a video on my 6-year Surgiversary, but life has been extremely hectic and busy for me. Some good things and some bad things have gone on. Well, not many bad, just like pretty much one. I've started smoking again um, over the few months leading up to Christmas, and um, for a few months afterwards, I was dealing with a lot of stress and depression, and um, I got some significant regain, which I think I did touch on a little bit in my last video, that I had regain. Um, and the only thing that I found was a real stress reliever, even though it's detrimental to my health, was to start smoking again. I had So basically, to start, I had surgery on March 7th, 2018, 2018, 2017. I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure I'm at my 6-year Surgiversary in March, in Guelph, at Guelph General Hospital with Dr. Jules Foutain-Long. I was 343.6 pounds. I don't know what my weight was the last time that I put out a video, but over the last just under 3 years, August 8th will be 3 years, I have been back and forth with doing Carnivore, as that's where I've felt the best with my body. And it has helped to manage any depression and anxiety that I've had to a certain degree or another. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning. Today, I weighed myself at 236.8. I had taken a break from Carnivore due to financial reasoning, because in October, my husband and I separated out of the truck, because I could no longer do over the road, due to the fact that too many drivers, whether it be people in just regular passenger vehicles or even transports, would take too many risks around us constantly, and um, while driving is dangerous, just every day, um, I felt it was becoming too dangerous, and it was severely affecting my mental health. It was keeping me on edge 24/7. It was causing me to lose sleep. It was making me extremely terrified all the time. Um, and I just got to the point where I could no longer be with my husband because it was happening to both of us more and more. Um, you know, uh, when you get to the point where people are coming in front of your truck when you are all moving really fast, and if it's a passenger vehicle, all you can see is the roof of their vehicle. You can't even see their rear window or their trunk. That's extremely close and extremely dangerous and very risky. Uh, or when people are driving in your lane beside you and they are a foot or two into your lane and you're having to move over. And especially getting into the winter months, that's really dangerous because the shoulders become extremely icy and you could slip off the road at any time. You know, among many, many other different scenarios, it all added up to have me make the decision quite a lot sooner that we had already made, where we would be coming off the road and I would transition into the office. Now, I did transition into the office for about 3 weeks. It just wasn't the right fit. So my husband and I had talked, just in case it wasn't the right fit for me. And when I had moved into the office, he had decided to go to our bulk department, as that was something that he did for quite a few years when he was younger, and he quite enjoyed driving roll-off bins that have garbage in them, or the big 53-foot trailers and transports that go to the dump to transport garbage back and forth, or well, to the dump anyways, so that we can get rid of it. So just in case the office hadn't been the right fit for me, we had decided that if that was the case, that I would also transition into our bulk department with our company. And I have, and I actually really enjoy it. I actually, my husband and I are really good friends with our supervisor and dispatcher. And my husband is now on call, which is good for him because now he is, while he still works extremely hard, he's able to slow down as well. He's turning 56 this year, so he's 10, 11 years away from retirement. So it's a good fit for him. It gives him the chance to pursue doctors to alleviate his arthritis and other health issues that he deals with on a daily basis, so that he can feel more comfortable and do the things that he wants to do. So we both kind of found our niche in that there's conversations that I've had with my boss, and it's just made me feel a total feeling of serendipity, like I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. and I actually quite enjoy it. And while I'm still driving and still experience some of the risks that I was before from other drivers on the road, um, it's not as bad as it was. Some days are riskier than others, but there are a lot of days that are not, and that is worlds apart compared to when we were over the road. And it was every single day, multiple times a day for both of us. Uh, so, um, that's what I'm doing right now. So, like I said, we have passed a year anniversary in our house, and today is the year anniversary of us moving into our house. Um, During that time, too, the transitioning from the truck to the office and then back into the truck, and then going through the winter, which, um, depending on how big your bulk department is in your company, can be a slow period or not, depending on the contracts that you have. Ours was this year. We expect that it won't be next year because we're actually streamlining our department to make it so that the contracts we do have, that we have a good driver base to fulfill them. Um, but so that all the drivers can work every day during the winter instead of 2 or 3 days a week, which is good. Uh, but during that time, we had some financial hardship because while my husband was working almost every day, I was not. Um, and part of the reason he was working every day, or almost every day, is because besides driving garbage, our department had picked up another contract that enabled him to run the molds for car parts back and forth, from Canada to the US, and then back into Canada again, which enabled him to keep running more often, which was really good. So that we were at least able to make sure that we could pay our mortgage and our bills and everything like that. But during that time, I had been back into Carnivore, and ended up having to uh, stop for a while because I couldn't justify, um, even though I've gotten it, like, if I really need to, I've gotten it tightened right down to where my grocery budget is, sorry, is actually a lot smaller, um, for when I'm eating carnivore, if I need it to be. I couldn't justify spending the money to do it, um, when it was far more financially sound and far easier to uh, buy things to make bigger meals like casseroles, or like my husband really likes spaghetti sauce, and he really likes chili, and he really likes like Alfredo and things of that nature, so I could make big meals and then portion size them out to, um, what we'd need for a day, whether it be in the truck or at home. So I ended up doing that because it was far more feasible, at that point, because of financial reasons. So, I did stay with a standard diet during that time. Um, by the time I went back to carnivore, it was in January. I stayed that way for about a month and a half and lost about 20 pounds during that time. And when I had started in January, again, I was up in the 260s, the higher 260s. So, in the regain that I've had over the last few years, I regained about 85 pounds. I had managed to lose 40 of it during the last year, but then regained another 20 over that period. And sorry, I've just gotten this tattoo completed, so it's a little tender. When I went back to Carnivore in January, like I said, I was in the high 260s. I managed to lose 20 pounds, and then we had a lot of stuff that was going on, both over my birthday. Then my sister-in-law had her 50th, and just a bunch of things where I transitioned back from carnivore to the standard diet. And then while we were actually at my sister-in-law's birthday, I had been outside having a cigarette and was on Instagram while I was doing so, and had seen an ad for Nutrifarms. Now, if you're a Canadian resident and you live in Ontario, we have a company called Nutrifarms where my husband and I actually got a chest freezer. Well, it's a stand-up freezer. It's a 16 cubic foot stand-up freezer, and all we're paying on it is the taxes. And what Nutrifarms does is they have a core group of farms that they get their meat from, and some vegetable and fruit products, and they also have some other stuff, household products, and then also like spaghetti sauce, tomatoes, rice, a few pantry items. We looked into it, we had a meeting, and found that with the cost of food nowadays, that we're spending at least $13,000 a year. And most of that, we were barely getting any meat anymore. Most of that was all the extras to make big meals and getting enough meat so that we can have at least one meal with protein meat in it once a day. And during that point, I was pretty well eating eggs, and then we have a store called Food Basics. I was getting a lot of ground beef from there because you can get $10 bags of different things, and one of those was ground beef. So I was getting my ground beef from there. I was getting like stewing beef for myself, which I can make last 2 or 3 days, or stir-fry beef strips, which I could also make last 2 or 3 days. And I was very egg heavy when I transitioned back, and which is fine. I actually did really well on it. Like I said, I lost 20 pounds. I gained back when I went back to eating the standard diet. Over the last month and a half, I gained back about 6 or 7 pounds, so it wasn't too bad. But I just started again back into carnivore really heavy because now I have a choice of whatever, because we ended up signing up with Nutrifarms. We determined that whatever meat that we got from them was just under $7,000 a year, and they do it on a payment plan. So we have a year's worth of meat in our house right now. And we have roasts of varying types. We have ground beef, we have trout, we have salmon, we have stewing beef, we have pre-made burgers, bacon, chicken wings, fast fry steaks, various kinds of steaks, ranging from really fatty, nice cuts to leaner cuts, like the fast fry steak. It's amazing, and they brought the freezer and all the things to our house. They set up the freezer, and then it took me a couple of hours to unpack it. And it's my husband and I have talked about it quite a bit. We're actually both happy because meat was something that we were lacking. And part of it is because meat has gotten really expensive depending on what you get. But also, so have fruit and vegetables. So my husband's actually been doing carnivore with me for the last couple of weeks. But he decided to do it to uh, clean out his body to a certain degree, and then he's going to add things back in. And while he's adding them back in, he's going to test them out to see how his body reacts, because he has had a few things that aren't carnivore and has reacted really negatively. So he would actually prefer to be low carb keto or ketovore, which is fine because he still wants other things, and that's good for him. Um, so uh, today I jumped on the scale and I have been back complete carnivore. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks, and I have lost another 10 pounds. So I actually jumped on the scale and I was 236.8 this morning, which is really good. If you go considering all the regain I had, I think when I started really trying to tackle it, I think I had gotten up to 287. So I've lost 50 pounds of my regain so far. It's still going down. And I'm seeing that when I am coming to my monthly with eating carnivore and the way that I am, that I'm not having significant bloat and pain that I've always attributed to that time of the month. In the last week, I did plateau for a few days, and I think that was my body getting ready for my monthly. Because the last couple of days I've dropped another few pounds since the plateau. So my body's still cleaning out. I know that. I'm good with that. And I feel really good. Not that I haven't any other time when I've gone carnivore, but I feel really good about it this time, especially because we're not in the truck, so it's not harder for us to go shopping. But then we also bought into Nutrifarms. So I have a vast amount of choices sitting 30 feet from me in my dining room, because that's where we stuck the freezer. And I'm really happy with it. So if any of my viewers watch this and you are Ontario residents, it is definitely something worth checking out. Um, we were spending anywhere for $250 to $350 a week for both of us to eat the ways that we want, to have the chosen foods that we want. And I mean, a lot of those we were getting the lesser brands. Um, we were trying to be frugal about things, getting cheaper things, or just not getting things because we just couldn't afford it. We weren't doing full grocery shops anymore. Like, I'd literally go to the store and buy some cream and butter for myself and some eggs and maybe some cheese, and then I'd get lettuce and some berries for my husband, some cucumbers and celery. If he wanted to make a chili or a spaghetti sauce, I'd grab some like peppers and onions and mushrooms if he needed them, and then whatever meat that I was grabbing, which never ended up being very much, salad dressings, stuff like that. And it's so hard, like, to even wrap my head around the fact that that would all cost, uh, you know, between $250 and $350 every week. With doing the NutriFarms, we're paying $130 every week um, on the payment plan that they set up for you, depending on the order that you get, and depending on how you choose to pay. Because you can pay weekly, you can pay bi-weekly, you can pay monthly, or you can pay it all off. They have a bunch of different payment plan options. Um, we decided to go with weekly, and then I've sat and thought about it with all the things that my husband has decided that he wants to bring back into his diet and test out to make sure that they are good things for his body. Maybe another $60 to $80. So uh, at least $40 to $110 savings. And that, I mean, if it's on the lower end, if it's $40, it's not very significant, but it's still $40 that we get to keep in our pocket. If it's $110, that's quite significant compared to what we were getting, and we have better quality food. The animals are all pasture raised, cage free, um, and eat the diets that they should be eating if they were living in the wild. Uh, you know, pasture raised cows, cage free chickens, uh, cage free pigs on a vegetarian diet. Um, it's no antibiotics, no drugs. They constantly test their animals um, to make sure that they're in good condition. And yeah, so I mean, it's awesome. We both love it. We think we made a really good decision with it. And if any people that do watch this video, that watch me, um, decide it's something you want to look into, it's called NutriFarms. Um, and they have a promotion going on right now that if you do sign up with them, that you get a freezer, and all you pay on the freezer is the taxes. And they have a 9 cubic foot chest freezer, a 16 cubic foot chest freezer, I believe, or a stand-up freezer, 16 cubic foot, depending on the amount that you order. And if any of you do, please use me. My name is Angela Clark. With Clark is with an E. Message me because I think you might also need my phone number too, so I can give you that information. Because the good thing about this is also when you sign up, if you have other people that can sign up um, and use your information to do so, you get $200 back. Um, so it works out. Yeah, so we're a week away from our trailer opening. Uh, we're doing really good. Um, we're feeling really good in our house. It really feels like home and feels like this is where we could be for the rest of our lives. Um, we like where we are, especially my husband. It's far enough south that, I mean, even between here and our work, we notice a few degree, 4 or 5 degree difference in temperature and a difference in weather. Um, we're close to our work. It's working out really well. And next week, our trailer opens back up again for the season. We're really looking forward to that. Um, things are coming together. Like I said, the only negative thing I can think about is I started smoking again. But I do have a goal, even if I have to start vaping to help me get through it again. Um, I decided I didn't want to keep, like when I started smoking, I knew I didn't want to keep smoking because I like being able to work out and to run and things of that nature. And so the goal that I have is that um, when I am able to fit into the workout clothes that I had purchased before for when I was running and working out all the time, that is the day that I quit smoking. And I am getting closer to that goal every day. I am really looking forward to it because I really don't want to be smoking again. Um, and I'm really missing running, and I'm really looking forward to starting running again. On top of the carnivore. Um, so yeah, I'm doing really good. I have had some regain, but I have lost at 2/3 of it again, and only expect to keep losing more from this point on. Um, yeah, and like I said, I got another tattoo. I think I showed you guys last year. Sorry, it's, well, as you can tell, it's on my chest, and I don't want to be. But yeah, I just actually, I had the butterflies. There's 4 of them filled in about a month and a half ago. And then last weekend I went so that she could fill in the orchids and the lilies and touch up the butterflies. And I mean, it's not a great picture. You can't really see it. Or, well, you can't see it as well as you could as if it was brighter out. But I absolutely love it. And I'll be going back to see her in about a month after this is healed to get it touched up and completed. Um, so yeah. Anyways, that's me for now. I've made quite a longer video than I intended to make. In regards to the carnivore, I'm doing similar to what I was doing before. I'm getting in um, 30 to 40 ounces of fat in the morning through having some butter, just eating butter with a coffee. I have 1 coffee through the week. On the weekends, if I'm not working, because sometimes I work Saturdays, I will have 2 or 3, sometimes 4 coffees. I have switched so that I am just drinking the San Pellegrino water because of the electrolytes in it. I'm only drinking regular tap water or bottled water when I need to, if I don't have any of my Pellegrino, uh, because I still have experienced quite a few muscle contractions here or there, and making sure that my electrolyte levels are balanced really helps with that and makes it so it does not happen. Um, and then throughout the day, depending on how I feel over the day, I might, like, depending on what I want, I might have like a pound of ground beef and anywhere from 2 to 4 eggs. Sometimes I'll put a half a pound of bacon in it, and I also put some butter in it for the fat content because women need higher fat, um, need to ingest higher amounts of fat, I should say, than men do, for their bodies. Uh, and it varies from each individual person. You have to find where your body is best and most comfortable. Um, I'm getting anywhere from 1.5 to 2 liters of the San Pellegrino every day. Um, I am still drinking energy drinks because, uh, well, my job is an extremely high concentration, mentally taxing job. And yes, okay, I'm driving a truck, but the load is significantly heavier than anything we've ever pulled. There are some days when I pull onto the scale at the landfill where I have on 145,000 pounds, or I've actually had a load or two where I'm 150,000 pounds. Um, so, uh, you need a greater level of concentration to be aware of everything that's around you. Um, it's quite a different beast compared to just driving a transport over the road with normal everyday loads. Um, so I've found that while I don't want to drink the energy drinks, I still do just for that alone, um, to help me keep more focused and aware. Um, some days I'll eat a steak, usually like this big. That usually is good for me for the day. If I feel still hungry, I'll have a couple eggs and maybe a little bit of cheese at night, which is exactly what I did yesterday. Uh, some days I might have chicken wings, or I might have some fish. It depends on what I feel for the day, and I like a lot of different things. So I have a lot of different things. I'm good with it, and I'm happy. And I found all the different things that my body likes, and that's what I stick to. And that's what each individual person has to do, is just find out what their body likes the best, what doesn't affect them, give them nausea or body aches and pains or tiredness, and just do that. And you can do all those different things in varying forms. I've actually got a steak sitting in my fridge right now, and I've never tried air fried steak, so I'm going to air fry a steak today. I've also never had trout, and my husband told me last night that he is going to do some trout on the barbecue for us today, because we have a little hibachi barbecue, um, that we have for our house, because we don't need a full-size barbecue at our house. We have that at our trailer, and I'm gonna try trout for the first time today, so I'm looking forward to it, and all the things that are coming for me, as long as I keep at it. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. Um, I hope all of you are doing really well. I don't know when I'll be back for another update. It could be soon, it could be another year, um, or 6 months or 8 months. But I will be back with another update, and hopefully more weight loss. Um, Until then, everybody take care. I hope you are all doing well and living your best lives. And Thanks. Take care.